something I want to talk about, because there's two guys coming to Speaker's Corner. CEO, he mentioned that they came to his platform and they spoke about this issue, which is they claim.
You asked me.
Yeah, I asked you. Yeah. And you
I
said,
don't want to seem like I went to it.
yeah.
These guys is doing something. I want you to refuse them.
That's true. So I asked him, I said, did they come to your platform and they spoke about this issue of the Quran? He said yes. So I'm gonna, because I debated them, both of them, but he never recorded it. The other brothers recorded it.
I got a little bit.
You got a little bit, how long?
Not really about half an hour, but then afterwards they was doing their own thing.
Okay, no
I was
problem.
on film, something else was on film.
No problem. Let me just clarify something. When I speak to them, that's the promises. Allah sent the Quran clearly. Obey Allah and obey the Messenger. Okay? So this general statement, of course, even non-Muslims will tell you Allah is speaking, or these commandments for all Muslims. You have to obey Allah and obey the Messenger. So the question I asked them, obey Allah, of course, is what? The Quran. Obey the Messenger, because it's general statements. The Messenger is not with us now, so Allah is addressing every Muslim in every time and every place. Obey Allah and obey the Messenger. The Quran is with us. How are we going to obey the Messenger? Clearly means the prophetic tradition. But they say, no, obey the Messenger means obey the message. I said to him, okay, when Allah said obey Allah, what does it mean? He said, it means obey the message. So by obeying Allah, we already obeying the message. So there's no need to obey the Messenger. So therefore, when Allah said obey the Messenger, it means something else. That's why what? The prophetic tradition. That's one thing. The other thing, which Cameron, I said to him, in the Quran, Allah told the Prophet Muhammad change the direction of the prayer toward Mecca. So where is the commandment where Allah said to Prophet Muhammad pray toward Jerusalem? It's not in the Quran. Where is it? Of course, it's in a prophetic tradition, because they agree Prophet Muhammad will not do something without Allah telling him to do it. So where is that commandment? It's in the Sunnah. Those guys, one of them clearly fell into disbelief. I'm not going to mention his name, but you can watch it. He said Prophet Muhammad said, I said, where? In the Quran. That's disbelief, because the Quran does not contain the speech of Prophet Muhammad. The Quran purely is the speech of Allah. If you want to read the speech of Prophet Muhammad, it's in the Sunnah. The other guy, he believes there is a messenger coming after the messenger of Allah. So both of them fell into disbelief. Those guys, I'm not sure if they are intentionally doing it or unintentionally. They are clearly calling to disbelief. Now they say we don't have to follow prophetic tradition. Why? Because the people between us and the Prophet Muhammad, we cannot trust them. But when I asked the other guy, I said, hold a minute, the Quran was not given to you directly. So how do you know every word which is in the Quran was given to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Of course, you were not there, and Allah never gave you the Quran directly. You have to have people between you and the Prophet Muhammad. He said, no, I read the Quran, and clearly, which is true, you read the Quran, clearly you can see it's not from heaven. But not I'm talking about every word, because Quran was passed down to us generation after generation, where Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's companions memorized it. They read it out to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Their students, and they did everything to sacrifice their life to preserve the Quran. Okay, so which we call chain of narration, based upon a trustworthy, truthful, honest individuals that we know their background, we know their life and everything. Okay, so now if we start doubting about the prophetic tradition, next step we start doubting about the Quran. How do you know, as a Shia claim, some of them, how do you know the companions never changed the Quran? Because they believe this Quran, so-called Quranis, they're not Quranis, they are the enemies of Quran. They claim that the companions are not truthful. So how do you know they never changed the Quran? And what is amazing, in the Quran, Allah praised the companions. To show you they don't follow the Quran, this is a deception they want to do to make the Muslims leave Islam. So be aware of them, because they believe the messenger of Allah was a postman. You know, postman job. I'm going to give you a letter, you do your own explanation. No. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ came to teach us and to tell us how to understand the Quran. Because Allah said, obey Allah and obey the Messenger. Another verse, Allah said in the Quran, if you differ, Allah said in the Quran to the Muslims, if you differ amongst yourself, refer it to Allah and His Messenger. Now the question we ask ourselves, this speech or this commandment from Allah is what for every Muslim at every time. Allah said refer it to Allah, that is the Quran. But refer it to the Messenger is not here. So what does it mean? It can't be the Quran. What does it mean? The Sunnah. That's why they cannot escape. That's why both of them they disagree with each other. One of them said no, it's a general. The one said no, it's specific. So according to this guy who said his English is very well, if I say to you, there is a group of people, that is a general statement. There is a group of people. Now that's a general statement. If I say I see a group of English people, that is more specific than before. Allah said in the Quran, fulfill your trust, obey Allah, now obey the Messenger. That is a general statement. He said not specific. I said to whom? Doesn't say. But to show you these guys, that they are the enemies of Islam, but they pretend to be Muslims. Proper. And this movement started in India in the last century. Yeah, they're Maulana, they're teachers, yeah, from there. Now they just follow the claiming we only follow the Quran. So we don't need Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Prophet just give me Quran, khalas. You know, but so that's the foundation. Don't tell them what is the prayer because they're gonna tell you, I don't have to pray 5 times a day. Okay? No, tell them Allah said obey Allah and obey the Messenger. Is this statement for every Muslim and every time? If they said yes, say okay, obey Allah is the Quran, obey the Messenger, what does it mean? That's how you shut them down. Naam, that's how to make it clear and to be aware of them. I spoke to them. Some people say go debate them. I spoke to one of them last week. I spoke to both of them, and both of them differ with one another. My question was to them, how do you know your understanding is better than his one, or your one is correct? He said, no, we are same. I said, no, he believed that verse was specific. You believe it's a general. How can we determine which one is right? How? We go back to Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Be aware of them. These guys, be aware of them. Okay, I hope that is clear. Maybe you can ask questions, no problem, for corrections. Oh yes, so they said, no. His argument, because Allah said that we will not destroy a nation until we send a messenger. So Allah will send a messenger every time. No. Messenger means someone will come with a message, okay? Or the message itself reach them. If the message, because if the message reached them, messenger doesn't mean has to messenger himself come, because we know the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is the last prophet and the last messenger. What is the proof of that? Allah said, today I have perfected your religion for you. So we are not in need of another person to come with another revelation, because Islam is perfected. It's completed. Huh? So to know, wallah, ya ikhwan, brothers and sisters out there, be aware of these guys. For example, they come with beautiful speech. We follow Quran. Everyone wants to follow Quran, correct? Remember, just like the ISIS murderers, they say, why? We're doing jihad. Jihad, of course, jihad is something which we believe in. But jihad means to remove oppression, not to kill innocent people, to defend those who are oppressed, not to kill innocent people. So they use a good term, which many Muslims believe is correct, and they do what? They kill innocent people behind it. They say, we follow Quran. But when you check it, no, they are the enemies of Quran. Huh?
But they don't fast.
One of them, they don't pray, they don't fast.
And like you said, no two people on that same figure come up with the same time.
No. Here comes that. Like you will watch the video. It was recorded. I spoke to him for nearly an hour. You know, the guy he said be literal. Then he bring his own words. He said a group. I said, what does it say in the Quran group? He came up with it. It's okay to expand the Quran, but it's not okay for me. You see the contradiction? That's why we are able to refute any deviated sect. How? We ask the question, the way you understand the Quran, did the Prophet Muhammad understood it this way? Did the companions understood it this way? Why? Because if I say my understanding is better than yours, what criteria I'm utilizing? My brain is not better than his brain. But when I said no, my understanding is based upon Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and his companions. Why? Because Allah praised them in the Quran. You know, if they have a doubt about the Sunnah, then the Quran was passed down to us through the companions, which Allah praised. So be aware of them.
Please, are you happy with Surah